Hey, sports fans, this is Larry Eater. Each day during the World Championships, we'll provide a preview for you of the 2025 Tokyo World Outdoor Athletics Championships from the National Stadium. We're doing these previews from Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin, and Indianapolis, Indiana, on September 7th, just before the Worlds. I leave on September 9th. This will be my 15th World Championships, and I'm being supported and sponsored by Nike Running. Special thanks to our friends Brett Holtz in sports marketing and Tony Bignell in innovation in Nike Running. I've worked with Nike since 1985. I'm really happy with the new shoes they've got coming out, the Vomero 18, the Vomero Plus. The Pegasus Plus is a perfect running shoe for high schoolers, and I really encourage you to check them out at NikeRunning.com. But please, 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 when you look at Nike running shoes and other running products, go to your local running store. Support the important part of our culture, Nike retail running stores and the specialty running channel. It's very, very important. This is on RunBlogRun at runblogrun.com. This will be my 15th World Championships. And again, thanks to our friends at Nike for getting me to Japan. Talk to you soon. Hey, sports fans, Larry Eater. This is Conversations with Larry. It's the preview of the 2025 Tokyo World Outdoor Athletics Championships to be held in the National Stadium. It's going from September 13th to 21st. I will be there. I cannot wait. And on September 17th, this is day 5, baby. Day 5. There's just an evening session, but it's going to be incredible. Right? You like how I kind of throw in the pretend French? Okay. Anyway, hey, in Wisconsin right now, we are getting weather advisories that there might be a frost. Well, I can assure you in Japan during this entire time, it's not going to be a frost. It's going to be from about 75 degrees Fahrenheit to about 90, 100% humidity. I will be soaked every day. I will be drinking my large bottles of water and perhaps a beverage of adult nature occasionally, but I'm trying to keep my wits about me so I can share with you every day because we'll be doing a review every night of the World Championships. And poor Mike Deering will, I know Mikey loves me. He is our uh, production director for all things podcasts for Run Blog Run. But by the end of the World Champs, Mike will be tired of me after, he'll probably ignore me for a few days, which rightly so. I would ignore myself. Anyway, okay, let's get into day 5. We start out at 7:00, right? Let's see. Yep, 7:05 with the men's triple jump qualifying. The triple jump is really interesting this year. Will Clay, who, if some of you have been around in the sport, remember in 2012, he won medals in the long and the triple. First time that a male had done that since 1932. I think it was a Japanese athlete, in fact. So we will have to see how the triple jump goes. Jonathan Edwards' record of 18, is it 1839? 1829 will stay intact, I believe. The triple jump needs the Christian Taylors and the Pedro Pichardos and the Jonathan Edwards, some of the great, great, great athletes, because the triple jump is, as this guy named Seb Coe told Kenny Moore back in 1996, the most difficult physical event in track and field. And I believe that. So that's at 7:05. At 7:10, the men's javelin throw qualifying. And kids, we got a couple throwers going over 91 meters. And Julian Weber, who went over 91 meters twice in the Diamond League within 10 minutes. 91:31 and 91, what, 51? Yeah, just consider that, okay? At 7:30, the women's 200-meter heats begin. Now, in the heats of these events, you're going to see athletes from all over the world, some really good, some not so good. But we won't be seeing Gabby Thomas, okay? We will see Melissa Jefferson Wooden. We will see Julian Alfred. We will see um, Brittany Brown. Um, we're going to have. I think the U.S. could get two medals in the 200. It's going to be very, very interesting. Um, Dina Asher Smith, the 2019 champion, is in full form. Amy Hunt, Great Britain, in great form. And Daryl Natia from the UK in great form. It's going to be very, very interesting. And I believe that Julian Alfred may start showing us. She's never really liked the 200. She's never really given it the time of day. Um, but her coach believes that this may be her best event. So we'll have to see. I think that's good. But I think Melissa Jefferson Wooden is on a roll. And I don't expect her to, um, especially coming off the 100, I don't expect her to give up on anything. I think she's going to be Dynamo Hum kids. I think the 200 might be Melissa's best event. So we'll have to see. Women's pole vault final is at 8:10. Can can Katie Moon win another one? You know, a year ago she was talking about possibly, shutting it down, and now she's talking about going to LA 2028. But guess what? She is living in the same. She's living with her husband again, and it's not suggesting anything. There was a separate. They were separated because she was training one place, and her hubby, who is a crew coach at the University of Oklahoma, was living in a different place. They're together. They're happy. You can't wish for anything more than that. But they're good people. Sandy Morris is back in great shape. Amanda and Hannah Mole, I think, could be really, really interesting. Molly Caudry, the British pole vault star, she wants a big medal. She needs a big medal. Tina Sutesh, um, incredibly talented. So there's a lot of fine European pole vaulters, but you've also got the formidableness of Katie Moon. Okay, so that's a final at 8:10. The men's 200-meter heats are at 8:15. Noah Lyles, Kenny Bednarek. Um, let's see who else we get to put in there. Um, there is talent around the globe in the 200, and it's going to be very interesting to see who does what. Um, and I think Noah Lyles believes he owns this event. Kenny Bednarek knows that you've got to earn the event. This could be the showdown of showdowns between those two. You remember what happened at the U.S. champs. Um, and, look, I love them both. I love Noah. And I told Noah last year when he did this one, to Arian Knighton, that if I was Arian's coach, I would have played that video every day. If I was uh, Kenny's coach, I would have played that video from the U.S. champs this year every day with Kenneth. But Kenneth is kind of a mellow dude and leaves it on the track. Noah does not know what the word mellow means. It's not in his vocabulary. I love him dearly, but sometimes his mouth overloads his ass. But it's going to be make for a great rivalry. So watch this 200 because it's going to be smoking, kids. All right. The men's javelin at 8:45. We had the qualifying groups. A was at 7:10. The men's are at 8:45. Next is the men's long jump final. This could be a hot, hot, hot event. Liam Adcock from Australia. How uh, how is Liam handling a world championships? Mattia Furlani has competed on the big stage. This kid is what, 20 years old, and he's from Italy. One of the 99 Italians who's competing. You know, um, I think Miltiades Tenkalu, Miltiades sees a lot of people coming after him. He's not a happy camper about that, and he's Greek, so he, there's a little bit of theatricalness there, thank God, right? When I did a post about Miltiades during the Olympics last year, and it was one of my biggest ever. I mean, in the history of social media, uh, hundreds of thousands, and a lot of it was Greek kids, and well, I studied a little ancient Greek in the seminary. I modern Greek, yeah. Sometimes it's well, I understand the expletives. But don't we understand the expletives in every language? It's kind of like tongues, right? Okay. Um, but the long jump, Simon Ehammer, Simon is doing the long jump and the decathlon, and he's told people, I think he told Stewart that he's going to win both. So, it's going to be interesting, right? There's a few people who want to dispute that. So after the men's long jump final at 8:50 at 9 o'clock, the women's 400-meter hurdles semifinals, and we're going to see what kind of shape Femke Bowles in, Anna Cockrell, Delilah Muhammad. Um, it's going to be interesting. There is a young woman from Slovakia, Ms. Zapolatova. I got to tell you, you got to watch this young woman. She went from 54:08 to 53:18 this season. But here's the other thing that I think you should know about this young Ms. Zapolatova. She broke the Slovak national record, 50.76, which is pretty damn good, in the 400 flat that had been held in the Slovak Republic since 1974. Okay? So this young woman has got some serious wheels. All right. And she hurdles really well. I think she could sneak in for a medal. My friend Alphonse Uke, the Ukester, will love that one too. So, and a shout out to Alphonse. Alphonse is one of my favorite human beings on the planet. I don't get to spend enough time with him because of championships. He is a busy, busy, busy man doing television for all of Eastern Europe, and he's just charming. And and I've got to get to one of his Ostrava meets because he feels like I don't love him dearly. I do. I worship him. I'm building a statue of cheese farm in my backyard. But I've got several statues back there. There's a Mondo one. There's several other people back there too. Anywho's, so that was the women's 400 hurdle semifinals. The men's follow up after that at 9:30, and that is going to be interesting. Karsten Warholm. How's Karsten going to be doing? How's Rai Benjamin going to be doing? How's Alison Dos Santos going to be doing? I don't know. Abdirham Samba, how is he going to be doing? It's going to be interesting. You're going to have to watch, right? So we're going to end with, oh my God, two finals that are going to blow our minds. The women's steeple is going to be at 9:57. Will anybody challenge Ms. Yavi? I don't know. I think there's a it's one thing to race in the Diamond League, and I know I'm going to get slapped on this one. There's one thing to race in the Diamond League. It's another thing to race at a championship. It takes two different skill sets. It's great that you can run a an 850 steeplechase. Okay. But the skill set to go from 9:20 pace to 9-minute pace to 8:45 pace, 1 kilometer at a time, and then go all out the last lap. It's a different world. Yavi can do it. Can Trotich? I don't know. We're going to have to watch and see. Again, I think we should see some great performances by Americans. I'd love to see at least two Americans in the final. But it's not 2017 when the U.S. went and won two. Um, it's going to be interesting. It's not 2016. We're in a building stage with American women steeples, some great steeplers, but for them to be players, they've got to get down to a 9 minutes. And right now, we don't have anybody who can do that currently. I'm not saying they can't, but it's going to take a couple years, and that's what development's all about. Now, the men's 1500 finals is going to end day 5. I predict Josh Kerr as the champion. I predict Niels Laroche. Oh my God, so close. It's going to be like a Noah Lyles, Kashane Thompson race. I think Philemon Koech, Jonah Koech, Cole Hawker is going to be in there. I think Cole could spoil the whole kit and caboodle. You like how I say kit and caboodle? I know Jason Henderson and Tim Adams from Athletics Weekly are losing their minds right now because when I say kit and caboodle or like wackadoodle, they just look at me like, Larry, are you from the same planet? No, I'm from a Philip K. Dick novel in a parallel universe. Just remember that, where there's track and field meets every day and people get paid at Grand Slam track and things like that. But see, you knew I was going to throw that in, right? So was day 5 of the World Outdoor Athletics Championships in Tokyo. This is Conversations with Larry. This is the preview of the um, World Champs um, in Tokyo at the National Stadium. And this entire thing is sponsored by our friends at Nike.